A luxury box at PGE Park.
Monday on AM Northwest.
On World News tonight, a suicide bomber in a Jerusalem market. It's another woman. The Secretary of State's mission gets even tougher. Who are these bombers? How are they trained? These days, there are more volunteers. We'll take a closer look. Americans are paying more taxes than they need to. Not a philosophy, but a fact. Medicine on the cutting edge. Better eyesight without surgery. Changing the shape of the eye overnight. And who is that young man singing with Celine Dion? Will he be a star? He's working at it.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. It is hard to imagine a more difficult beginning for the Secretary of State's mission to the Middle East. It was late afternoon at a major marketplace in Jerusalem when a young Palestinian woman blew herself up. She took the lives of 6 Israelis. And she and whoever ordered her to do this have damaged this already delicate American diplomatic effort. Tonight, the United States says that tomorrow's meeting between Mr. Powell and the Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat is off unless and until Mr. Arafat takes a clear stand against the violence. We have several reports tonight, beginning with our State Department correspondent Martha Raddatz. She went to cover the Secretary of State. She wound up in the marketplace.
The dead lay in the middle of a crowded street. The wounded were rushed from the scene. They were carried away one after another. And many were badly wounded. The body of the bomber lay next to a bus. Police believe the young woman was trying to kill an even greater number of civilians, making her way towards the open-air market where Israelis were shopping for the Jewish Sabbath. Police said the bomber changed course when she spotted security guards at the entrance to the market and headed instead for a bus stop where passengers were just getting off. I was walking with my father, this man said, and suddenly, boom. This is the second time since this uprising began that this marketplace has been hit by a suicide bomber. It is the 4th time a woman carried a bomb. Late this afternoon, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, a group linked to Yasser Arafat's political movement, claimed responsibility. And the spiritual leader of Hamas, another militant group, said the bombing was punishment for Israel's military offensive in Jenin. There are also reports tonight that the bomber herself was from the Jenin refugee camp. While police were cleaning up the carnage from this suicide bombing, Secretary of State Colin Powell was on a helicopter tour in northern Israel. On the way, the secretary was able to see the aftermath from the air.
It illustrates the exceptionally dangerous situation that exists here and the need for all of us, everyone in the international community, to exert every effort we can to find a solution.
The bombing had an immediate impact on Powell's mission. The U.S. said publicly today it wants a condemnation of the attack from Yasser Arafat. Tonight, the information minister for the Palestinian Authority said, "We always condemn the attacks against Palestinian and Israeli citizens, but it's time for the U.S. to condemn the massacre in Jenin. We will condemn the suicide attacks when they condemn the massacre." That was not good enough for the United States. That was the major reason that Colin Powell canceled his meeting with Yasser Arafat tomorrow. But, Peter, apparently the United States wants this meeting to go ahead on Sunday.
Indeed, it does, Martha. Now, the Secretary saw the Israeli Prime Minister, Mr. Sharon, today and didn't have a great deal of luck with him either.
Didn't have any luck at all. Ariel Sharon refused to end this military occupation of these areas, and that was before the bombing, Peter.
Okay, Martha, thank you very much. Martha Raddatz in Jerusalem. There have been more than 30 suicide bomb attacks in Israel since the current Palestinian uprising began 18 months ago. 168 Israelis have been killed. It is the Palestinians' most powerful weapon against Israel. And as many Palestinians now believe, their only one. ABC's Gillian Finley takes a closer look.
Palestinians call them Shaheed, the martyrs, the defenders of Palestinian dignity. To Israelis, they are murderers. In this attack, which killed 11 Israelis, there were 2 suicide bombers, and they were fairly typical. Quiet, young, religious. By the time they left this village for the 15-minute drive to Jerusalem, the 2 young men had been vetted and interviewed by members of Hamas, given military training, and all without anyone here knowing anything about it.
Secrecy is very important.
Dr. Eyal Siraj strongly opposes suicide bombings, but as a psychologist, he's studied the phenomenon for years. The process usually starts at the mosque, he says, and is usually initiated by the would-be bombers themselves.
They express their wish, and when that wish is heard or known about, then the people will be approached.
Approached by a member of the militant groups. The first step, psychological training to make sure the bomber is strong enough mentally. Then the operational phase.
He has to know what to do, what to press, how to put it on himself, how to use it, how not to be detected.
Much of the training takes place in safe houses, which is also where the bombs are made. Lately, the quality of the explosives has improved greatly. As for targets, it's not clear who decides or who gives the final order to go. The bomber is often the last person in the chain to know when the operation will happen.
Usually it is a question of hours, and maximum it is 1 day notice.
The groups who send the bombers say these days they are inundated with volunteers, and the profile is changing. It's not just poor religious men anymore. There have been middle-class bombers, middle-aged bombers, some with children, and now women. After all that has happened here, it almost goes without saying that somewhere tonight, a group of recruiters and their aspiring martyr are planning the next suicide attack. Gillian Finley, ABC News, Jerusalem.
The United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan said today that UN agencies are reporting what he called grave violations by Israeli forces in the occupied territories. Mr. Annan says there's an urgent need to deploy an international force. Some of the worst violence has been inside the refugee camp at Jenin. ABC's Dean Reynolds tried to go there today.
Depending on who you believe, the Israeli army is either finishing a successful military operation in the Jenin refugee camp or hurriedly covering up evidence of a vengeful military rampage. Monitors and reporters are still not allowed past this army checkpoint 10 miles from Jenin.
We have reports of hundreds of deaths and hundreds of wounded. We have not been able to go in, so we cannot verify this, but the reports are persistent and they are very alarming.
The Israelis don't dispute that a lot of Palestinians died in Jenin, but they say that's because the fighting there was so fierce and not because of any Israeli plan to massacre civilians. But the Israeli army further angered people here today by announcing it alone would bury Palestinian gunmen killed in the camp. Something these Palestinian refugees charge is an Israeli attempt to conceal the true death toll. And late tonight, the Israeli High Court temporarily blocked the army from acting. But the army says Palestinians want to keep the corpses and display them later for political gain.
They want to make it an item of propaganda, and we are not going to let it happen.
So everybody else stays out.
During these 5 days, no medical assistance has gone in, no supplies, virtually no supplies have gone in, and none of the wounded have come out.
Israeli Army Dr. David Zangen says the camp is too dangerous for most to enter.
In every little street, they prepared it as a kind of a minefield.
We tried to see Jenin for ourselves today, but like everyone else, we were stopped. As one frustrated aid worker put it, there must be something in that camp the Israelis don't want us to see. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, near Jenin in the West Bank.
There were more demonstrations in the Arab world today against the Israeli attack on the Palestinians and U.S. support for Israel. In Bahrain, where the U.S. has a military base, thousands of people demanded that U.S. troops leave the country. In Lebanon, police fought with demonstrators outside the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, and 7 people were injured there. There is one other major story overseas today. In Venezuela, the president, Hugo Chavez, was forced to resign by the military after 14 people died during a massive anti-Chavez demonstration yesterday. Mr. Chavez is being held at a military barracks in Caracas. The head of the country's largest business association, Pedro Carmona, who you cannot see in that picture, has been asked by the military to form a transitional government. Opposition to Mr. Chavez has been building for several months, largely because of his economic policies. And a general strike this week, there was a lot of this on the streets, severely disrupted the country's oil industry. Venezuela is the fourth largest supplier of oil to the United States. When we come back this evening on the money trail, the mistakes on the tax forms that cost American taxpayers about $1 billion one year. Medicine on the cutting edge tonight, the contact lenses that can improve eyesight overnight.
This is something I wear at night while I'm sleeping, so it was great. You don't even know you have them in because you're asleep.
And at the end of the broadcast this Friday, what happened when an unknown singer had a chance encounter with the singing star, Celine Dion.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Ooh, scary. Yeah, and I bet they didn't have that insurance back then. What?
Aflac.
It gives your mommy money if she's sick and can't work. What does?
Aflac.
Pay attention. To what?
Aflac.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Aflac.
You want the very best for your best friends. Proper nutrition, regular exercise. And when it comes to monthly heartworm,
You can forget it.
now there's Pro Heart 6. Just one dose from your veterinarian protects against heartworm disease for 6 months. Used with caution in sick, debilitated, or underweight animals. Side effects may include mild swelling or itching at the injection site. Forget monthly heartworm. Remember Pro Heart 6, the 6-month preventative, only from your veterinarian.
Where is that? Heartburn. Zantac 75 knows it comes in many shapes and sizes. Brought on by food or triggered by stress. But fast heartburn relief anytime always comes in this shape, this size. Zantac. When there's too much acid, Zantac quickly blocks the strongest acid trigger to relieve heartburn fast. Yet it's so gentle, you can use it anytime. Whatever the shape or size of your heartburn, remember Zantac, the shape of fast heartburn relief anytime.
In the old days, athlete's foot meant using Lotrimin AF or Tinactin for 4 whole weeks.
Who does that? Today, Lamisil AT kills the fungus with just 1 week's use.
And keeps you athlete's foot free for 3 months.
Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
Working hard or working out, nutrition is important. With Centrum or Centrum Silver, you benefit from what science discovers about how the right multivitamins help unlock energy and strengthen immunity. Centrum and Centrum Silver, always complete from A to Zinc.
In the national briefing tonight, Cardinal Bernard Law of Boston said today he will not resign. There have been many calls for him to step down for his role in the Catholic Church's sex scandal. He is accused of protecting priests who sexually abuse children. A new government study estimates that each pack of cigarettes sold cost the country $7 in medical care and lost productivity. That's more than $157 billion annually. The cigarette companies call the figures meaningless because non-smokers, they say, have costly medical problems as well. There is mixed news today for the drug maker Merck. The government is requiring labels on its arthritis drug Vioxx to say that it may cause high blood pressure. But the FDA is also allowing Merck to advertise its claims that Vioxx is easier on the stomach than some of its competitors. And in Kansas today, remarkable amateur video of a tornado. It was part of a storm that dropped hail the size of quarters. On the money trail tonight, this evening, giving the tax man too much. It is on everybody's mind, given that Monday is the deadline. There are so many complications in the tax code that citing yet another one is almost cruel. But when the government says that many taxpayers who don't itemize their deduction lose money, well, that's precisely what they said. Here's ABC's Barry Serafin.
In preparing their returns, many taxpayers are taking the least complicated approach.
I'm not itemizing any deductions this year, but someone mentioned to me that I probably should look into it because they saved actually quite a bit of money.
Money that otherwise would have gone to Uncle Sam. The government study estimates that for the tax year 1998, as many as 2.2 million taxpayers paid too much. The average overpayment is estimated at $438, adding up to a total government windfall of almost $1 billion. In many cases, taxpayers simply claim the standard deduction instead of plowing through the forms to itemize such things as mortgage interest, local taxes, and charitable contributions.
These people are really intimidated by the return itself, and they just find it easier for them to take the standard deduction rather than itemize.
And those who do itemize often seek professional help.
I always am afraid I'm going to get myself in trouble if I do it on my own.
But tax professionals often do no better. Half of those overpaying had their returns completed by tax preparers.
And tax preparers run the gamut from extremely good to incompetent to absolutely fraudulent.
The money overpaid to Uncle Sam winds up in the U.S. Treasury, but it is not necessarily gone for good. Amended returns can be filed up to 3 years later, and any money returned is paid back with interest. Barry Saraf, ABC News, Washington.
There was some history made today in the world of golf. In Augusta, Georgia this afternoon, the Masters Golf Tournament said goodbye to Arnold Palmer. It was Mr. Palmer's 48th consecutive trip to the Masters, which he has won 4 times at 72 and no longer quite at the top of his game. Mr. Palmer said he wanted to fade away on his own terms before he gets a letter from the Masters saying that he is not invited back. When World News Tonight continues, perfect vision without surgery. That is medicine on the cutting edge.
We're finally going to buy my grandson a big boy bed. I was on chemo then, and I was exhausted.
If you're a chemotherapy patient and feel tired, you may be anemic. Ask your doctor about Procrit to regain red blood cells. More red blood cells can mean more strength. Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Procrit is for patients with non-myeloid cancers.
He takes a lot of energy, but I never get tired of him.
Even people who seem alike can have different nutritional needs. Ensure helps meet those needs, like Ensure Plus with concentrated calories for energy and extra protein. It's a source of complete balanced nutrition. Ensure Plus. Drink to your health.
We were cooking till my arthritis pain flared up. So I took control with Advil. Nothing, not Tylenol, not Aleve, nothing's proven stronger or lasts longer than Advil.
You have the strength to get rid of pain. Take control. Take Advil.
The Committee to Prolong the Life of Ugly, Annoying Weeds wants to know, do you really need a weed killer that works at 24 hours?
You tell him this will help.
Is it absolutely necessary to kill weeds down to the root so we never grow back? In short, do you really need Roundup?
Roundup's patented formula knocks out weeds in 24 hours.
24 hours? What's a rush?
Roundup knocks out weeds in 24 hours.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
I have to go now.
If you've always got to go, ask your doctor about Detrol LA. It's been proven effective for overactive bladder.
You need a break? Not right now.
You shouldn't take it if you have stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA. When you've always got to go.
Once upon a time, there was a young girl who had oh my, what a wonderful day. She made lots of friends, touched a cloud or two on a California adventure. And the next day, she even saw a wish come true. There's more magic than ever at the Disneyland Resort. And starting April 14th, one child gets in free with each 3-day adult package. Call 1-877-700-DISNEY to book your Disney California vacation.
Sunday night, Sean Green and the Dodgers battle the Padres. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel. Dodgers-Padres, this week at 8 on ESPN.
Sunday, the real story on Colin Powell's Middle East mission. Can he broker a peace? Plus, an exclusive interview with Jordan's King Abdullah II. This week, Sunday.
Eyesight is in the news tonight, an issue for a lot of us. About 70 million Americans are unable to see clearly at a distance. Last year, 769,000 used laser surgery to improve their vision permanently, they hope. But ABC's John McKenzie reports tonight on another way. Doctors can actually change the shape of eyes overnight. The shape without surgery. Medicine on the cutting edge.
I'd like you to put your chin just left of center
Charting the surface or cornea of a patient's eye.
and look straight down the tube.
A computer using these ever-expanding rings of light takes thousands of measurements,
Okay, blink.
mapping the unique contours of each cornea. It's the first step in creating this new type of corrective contact lens, a lens that's meant to be worn overnight.
I put them on before I go to bed at night. I take them out first thing in the morning when I get up, and that's it. I'm able to see great.
Marcia Atkins was tired of her glasses. Soft contacts irritated her eyes, and she was afraid of LASIK surgery.
I wanted to do something that was safe, and if I didn't like it, was reversible.
This overnight lens is designed to correct distance vision by molding the cornea into the proper shape. Once the lens is removed, the improved eyesight lasts 8 to 20 hours. A clinical study found that 58% of patients using the lens achieved 20/20 vision or better.
Not everybody is going to achieve 20/20 vision, but what we're really trying to do is to achieve usable, functional vision without glasses. That's the point.
The overnight lens is intended for people with mild to moderate vision problems. And while the panel advising the FDA found the lens to be safe, it also found some patients complained of discomfort. Specifically, some say the lens feels scratchy on the eye.
So it seems to be a moderately uncomfortable way of giving some people pretty good vision for most of the day. Well, to me, that's not a very good treatment.
But it was good enough for Marcia Atkins, who took part in the study.
It's improved my vision almost 100%.
The FDA is expected to make its final ruling on the overnight lens later this year. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
When we come back this evening, the final report on the broadcast, the young man with a very big voice. Will he be a very big star?
Do you know the warning signs of osteoporosis? Unfortunately, there aren't any. It's a silent disease with no symptoms unless a bone breaks. So ask your doctor about a painless bone density test. And if Fosamax is right for you. Fosamax is for postmenopausal women at risk for or with osteoporosis. It's proven to help reverse bone loss. Increases in bone mass were seen as early as 3 months. And Fosamax is the only osteoporosis treatment with a once-weekly tablet. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are unable to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease or low blood calcium. Use with caution if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and tell your doctor if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. 1 pill a week can help reverse bone loss and strengthen bone. Discover Fosamax once weekly, proven to help reverse bone loss.
Using the wrong waterproofer can cost you thousands. Don't be taken for a ride. Demand Thompson's Water Seal. It has the highest level of water protection, guaranteed. Powerful original, new advanced Thompson's Water Seal.
In today's real estate market, the Prudential Real Estate Network can get you moving. With over 42,000 sales professionals you can rely on, backed by a name trusted for more than a century. Find out why millions of people are sold on Prudential Real Estate.
I am one of the many people
We used to think they're frequent, persistent heartburn.
It's just plain old heartburn.
But if you've treated your heartburn, changed your diet, and the pain still comes back 2 or more days a week, it could be from acid reflux disease.
And over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Today, there's a purple pill called Nexium from the makers of Prilosec. For many people, 1 prescription Nexium a day means complete
24-hour.
day and night heartburn relief. And Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can tell if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and a free trial offer for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn. Heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
I'm Paul Lindman. Up next, Vancouver police arrest a suspect in the murder of a teenage girl. Officers say he not only knew the victim, he was living under the same roof. Think gas prices are already too high? Wait until you hear what the Oregon Gas Dealers Association says is still to come. Plus, accusations that Enron and PGE had a secret deal to drive up prices. Next.
Finally from us this evening, talent. This is one of those It's Friday night nice stories about someone who wants to be successful and through happenstance and talent is doing pretty darn well. Our storyteller is ABC's Bob Brown.
Do it again.
He was raised in a Los Angeles family with no show business connections, but people started noticing Josh Groban's voice at an early age.
Someone came up to me and he said, "You've got a really beautiful voice. You've got a nice light bulb. You just don't have the power yet."
But when Groban's voice suddenly matured in his teens, his teacher sent a tape to music producer David Foster, who was so impressed that he placed Groban in one of the most intimidating positions imaginable. Andrea Bocelli couldn't make a rehearsal for the 1999 Grammy Awards, so Foster called Groban as a stand-in. With his father out in the auditorium recording this scene on home video, a reluctant, scared 17-year-old kid was introduced to the star who'd been expecting Bocelli, pop diva Celine Dion.
So I see this young kid, and I'm like, okay, sure, and do you know the song? He said, yeah, I think I do. He took the microphone, and when he started to sing, he couldn't be any more powerful than that. Everybody in the audience that was watching the rehearsal, they were looking. This kid was incredible.
When Groban was then cast in Ally McBeal as a nerdy high school kid with a voice that could silence even the rudest of crowds, the internet response afterwards led to the creation of his own site. His versatility is going to lead to some tough decisions.
When nobody knows who you are, there's a pressure to say, you know, we don't know who you are. What bin should we put you in?
Dozens of executives will try to have input into that, into wardrobe, hair, performance style, choice of material for the future. As he recently performed for his biggest audience ever, singing with Charlotte Church before the Olympic torch was extinguished, this young man who a year ago was playing a self-conscious kid was beginning to learn how to play himself. That's the hard part. Bob Brown, ABC News, New York.
A breath away is not far to where you are.
You can see a longer, even more rewarding version of Bob Brown's report tonight at 10 o'clock on 2020. That's our report on World News Tonight. Next week on the broadcast, killing cancer with a powerful new poison. The $20 billion problem of counterfeit American products made in China, an ABC News investigation. And the telemarketer's revenge, tricking the public into making the call. Don't forget Nightline later this evening. I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good evening and a good weekend. Good night.
Tonight, look at these to die for nails, long and glamorous. So how could something so beautiful turn so ugly? Just look. This is not what you'd expect when you get a manicure. So, what's on your fingers? Better watch 2020 tonight.
Connecting you to your world. This is K2 News.
Good evening, I'm Paul Lindman.
And I'm Kathy Marshall in tonight for Steve Dunn. For just over a year, Vancouver police had been frustrated. They couldn't get enough evidence to arrest a man they believed killed a 14-year-old girl.
Today that changed with the arrest of a man who knew Whitney Green. K2's Dan Tilken is live in East Vancouver, where Whitney's body was found.
Well, Paul, and more than 13 days ago, Whitney Green's mother found her daughter's body in their backyard, which is just on the other side of that fence. Now police say her mother's former boyfriend, who also lived here, is the one who killed Whitney.
Police say Whitney Green had been dead for nearly a week when her mother found her body. Part of the time, her body was hidden in a tool closet on the patio before someone pulled it into the open. Within a matter of weeks, police turned their attention to Jermaine Easley. He's the former boyfriend of Whitney's mother and the father